contempt. The weekly daily stoic. Contempt. Contempt is the disregard for something that everyone thinks you should consider and go for. A useful tool. We can use contempt for our benefit, apparently. Let's find out. We got Marcus Aurelius' quote today on April the 24th. Come join me. The Daily Stoic, usually weekly, but today we're doing it by the book, daily. Let's get into it. So Marcus Aurelius says, just as when meat or foods are set before us, we think this is a dead fish, a dead bird or pig, and also this fine wine is only the juice of a bunch of grapes. Oh, this purple-edged robe, oh, it looks lovely, but just sheep's wool dyed in a bit of blood from a shellfish. Or sex, that it is only rubbing private parts together followed by a spasmic discharge. In the same way, our impressions grab actual events and permeate them, so we see them as they really are. Like I said, Marcus Aurelius. He's taking things that people covet, breaking them down to why are we using so much energy to get these things? That was the quote. Let's move on to the little writing bit underneath. Let's go. There is one Stoic exercise that might well be described as contemptuous expressions. So be using contempt, that disregard. I'm too good for those things. I'm too good for those things. Why? So using a contemptuous expression, putting yourself above things that other people covet. No longer me. I'm not going to go covet sex. I'm not going to do heaps of crazy things to try and go get some sex. Yes, Stoics use an almost cynical language as a way to dismantle some of the fanciest or most coveted parts of life. Marcus's joke about sex, why would he say something like that? Well, if you take a second to consider sex in such a absurd light, you may be less likely to do something shameful or embarrassing in the pursuit of it. It's a counterbalance to the natural bias we have towards something that feels really good. Having a counterbalance. Using contempt to keep the balance. Yes, let's continue reading. We can apply this way of thinking to a lot of things that people prize. Consider that envy-inducing photo you see on social media. Oh, I want a photo like that. Makes me look really cool. But imagine the person painstakingly staging it, getting the light, the costume, the boyfriend laying down and getting the right angle. Ugh. What about that job promotion? That means so much. Does it mean so much? Look at the lives of other so-called successful people. Are they actually living a life? Huh, I'm too good to be running around in a suit all day. I'm above that. Why is everyone trying to get that promotion? Break it down. Is it really that good? Is it something that you're after? Just because the whole world thinks you should be doing that. Nah, I'm too good for that. I don't care what they think. Is that what he's trying to say? Still, think it holds magical power? Do you still think it holds that magical power? Money, what about money? Which we want more of and are reluctant to part with. Even money. He says, consider how covered in bacteria and filth it is. Well, we don't use a lot of real money these days. But you get the idea. That beautiful, perfect person you're admiring from afar. Remember that if they're single, other people have dumped them at some point. Yeah, there's this, I can't remember where the quote or who I remember saying this. It says, for every really good-looking girl out there, there's at least one guy who's sick of fucking her. Why spend so energy? Yeah, on the surface it looks good and you think you should be pursuing her. But really, contempt. It's not worth my effort. Not worth my effort. There must be something wrong with them. They got dumped, that really good looking girl, by someone. This exercise won't turn you into a cynic, but it will provide some much needed objectivity. And I guess that's the word, objectivity. It's keeping the balance, that's what he's saying. Like all the things he was mentioning. The great food and the fine wine and sitting there with this lovely robe with purple on it. Looking good in front of everyone. Go, look at him. He's got all that great food and the finest wine in the country and those cool drapes, dapper looking man draped across his body. But really, break it down, it's just a dead fish. It's just squash grapes. It's just some sheep's wool with some, what was it? What did they use? Shellfish. Blood from a shellfish to make it purple. It's nothing. Why are they coveting it? Use contempt. I'm above that. Look at him. I don't want his dead fish. I don't want his little shellfish sheepskin robe. I don't want it. I'm above that. I'm happy in my linen. Happy. I'm not going to spend any energy at all. That's what I'm saying now, but I'll leave the house and I'll see someone and I'll be like, oh, look at those Nike shoes. I want some. Not as good as mine. My sandals. What's wrong with sandals? Jesus wore sandals.